Today I'm here to tell you that late-term abortions are needed as options for women during pregnancy, and the law should remain the same. The law how it states currently came about from the famous case of Roe versus Wade, and it ruled that women have the right to an abortion during the first 6 months or 2 trimesters of pregnancy, thereby legalizing the abortion. The court asserted that the abortion is a fundamental right under the U.S. Constitution, and prohibiting abortion would violate the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, which protects against state actions to deny the right to privacy, including a woman's qualified right to terminate her pregnancy. My first point, which I will be making today, is that late-term abortions are minimal in the scheme of things, and so really a banning of or a change to the current policy on late-term abortions need not be implemented. My second point is the following. Late-term abortions are only performed under special circumstances. They are not simply performed at a woman's whim to have an abortion later on in her pregnancy. My third point being that women who undergo a late-term abortion run serious medical risks to their health, making a late-term abortion undesirous for a woman, but in some cases necessary. My first point, that late-term abortions are minimal and thus do not warrant any change to the current policy, I offer the following proof. According to the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who conducted a period of analysis between 2006 and 2015 on abortion characteristics, provided the following. Women in their 20s accounted for the majority of abortions in 2015 and throughout the period of analysis. The majority of abortions in 2015 took place early in gestation. 91.1% of abortions were performed at or less than 13 weeks gestation. A smaller number of abortions, 7.6%, were performed at 14 to 20 weeks, and even a fewer amount, 1.3%, were performed at or greater than 21 weeks gestation. To further put these percentages in perspective for you, the Washington Post article dated February 5, 2019, entitled Tough Questions and Answers on Late-Term Abortions, further broke down the percentages. And they found that the percentages that the CDC came up with were similar to those found by the Guttmacher Institute, which is a nonprofit research center that supports abortion rights. The Guttmacher Institute also stated that 1.3% of abortions took place at or over 21 weeks out of the total 926,200 abortions in 2014. If we do the math, that is equivalent to roughly 12,040 late-term abortions. So it's not like a lot of women are having abortions, late-term abortions. My second point being is that late-term abortions are performed under special circumstances. Such circumstances being medical cases involving the fetus's health or the mother's health, and in cases of rape or incest. There are certain tests which are performed later on in pregnancy. According to Stanford's Children's Health website, one such test is performed between 16 and 18 weeks of gestation or during the second trimester is the alpha fetal protein screening, or AFP, which is a blood test which measures the level of alpha protein in the mother's blood during pregnancy. Abnormal levels of AFP may signal the following: an open neural tube defects in the baby, such as spina bifida, Down syndrome, or other chromosomal abnormalities. So if a woman does not find out about these abnormalities until later in her pregnancy, it is important to still have the option of abortion. Now, moving on to the mother's health during pregnancy. According to the same Washington Post article quoted above, there are those like Omar Al-Hamada, who is a board-certified OBGYN, who say that there is not one maternal condition which would require a late-term abortion. However, according to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, who refute this statement, stating that pregnant women may experience conditions such as premature rupture of membranes and infection, preeclampsia, which according to the healthprep.com website is a form of hypertension disorder which occurs usually 20 weeks after fertilization or during the middle of to late pregnancy. So, by the way, and all these conditions occur late in pregnancy. Women in these circumstances may risk the extensive blood loss, stroke, and septic shock that could lead to maternal death. So you see, there are certain cases in which the mother's health is compromised and needs to make that difficult yet necessary decision to end the pregnancy. Also, in regards of cases of rape and incest, I think that these cases are pretty self-explanatory. Why should anybody have to endure months of red tape to be able to have an abortion in cases involving rape or incest? Waiting for this red tape to clear is what's making women have later and later term abortions. My third and final point, women who opt for a late-term abortion are also putting their lives at risk. Depending on when the abortion is performed, certain risks follow. In an article found in Louisiana.gov website entitled Methods and Medical Risk Involving Abortion, the author states that an abortion at 13 weeks, for example, carries a risk of possible pelvic infection, incomplete abortion, blood clots in the uterus, heavy bleeding, cut or turned cervix. Why would women subject themselves to these possible complications? They wouldn't, only in extreme places where it's necessary. Under these cases, a woman should have the option to terminate her pregnancy. And so because late-term abortions are not an epidemic in this country, and because unfortunately cases do arise in which the health of the fetus and or mother are compromised, and because women who must have a late-term abortion are putting their lives at risk as well, women should, at a very minimum, continue to have the option to have a late-term abortion. And so we say that the law should remain status quo.